Hello and welcome to the Italian Job Part Two in California. No, I'm just kidding. It's a mad world. And with me are two madmen from across the pond. We have Lee and Ethan. Ethan in Scotland and Lee in Hull. And not really sure which city Ethan's in, but that's okay. It's probably going to end up being a road trip at some point between Hull and wherever he is in Scotland. And
I'm in
the
Arkham
road
Asylum. I mean Glasgow.
the road trip will, let me just finish. The road trip will be the same. It will be the same. These two mad people will be driving, either one going one direction, the other going the other direction. One in a plane, one in a car. Anyway, they are uh, they are my co podcasters today. And so I'm just going to figure out what they thought of this really great movie from like 1960, I think 1959, 63. Anyway, long time ago. And just enjoy what they say. Let's go over to Lee. Let's go over to Ethan in Glasgow then. And please, your opening thoughts about It's a Mad World.
Well, it's a movie about greed, isn't it? It's a comedy movie about greed. That's all it is. It's money rules the world, and it rules the lives of these people what I've never ever met before. After an accident, a man tells these bystanders there's a lot of money buried under a big W, I tell you. And of course, that was Jimmy Durante, a little cameo there. It's a fun romp about greed, and I wish these days the movie business would make movies like this. With how many actors was in this movie is beyond me. Even the main actors, even the little cameos of other actors passing by, blink and you miss them. But the hell of a cast of the time. I mean, the lead, of course, Spencer Tracy, one of the greatest of Hollywood actors ever to come out of Hollywood. As Culpepper, the policeman, on his last case before retirement. All he wants to do is get a good pension, and also he's got a nagging wife. But yeah, after the accident, all these people decide they want a share of that money, and it's a right royal romp. It's like it's a what did he call it? Like a scavenger hunt, isn't it? It's a all over the country, as Susan said, by train, not by train, but by plane, by car. It's an amazing movie. It's a long movie. It's because you've even got an intermission. If you've seen the the intermission's about 5 minutes long. But I mean, if anybody was watching it on DVD and didn't realise there was intermission, they'll be thinking, "What's going on here?" But yeah, the cast you've got cameos from Jerry Lewis, Buster Keaton at the end of the movie. You've got you say Jimmy Durante. You've got was the Three Stooges. I know there was another one. What it'll come to me, but when it goes on. But then you see you've got the main ones. As I say, Spencer Tracy, Phil Silvers, Mickey Rooney, Jonathan Winters, Terry Thomas. What was his name? Milton Bell. What's his name? Milton. thingamajig. Yeah, it's just an amazing, funny, and it still stands up today. Okay, yes, it's 1963, the fashion of the day, yeah, but it's still a good damn story, and it's funny. I was sat there giggling away to myself. Yeah, so that's my opening thought. Thoughts. It's a mad, movie, and I'll go to favourite things later on, and I'm going to try and figure out what the name of that other cameo is before it kills me. Over
Okay.
to you, Susan.
All right. Well, I don't know which one you're thinking about because there are a ton
Yeah,
of cameos. I mean, there are just drop-ins with people. I mean, it's just amazing. So, let's go to Ethan and opening thoughts.
Well, I absolutely bloody love this film. I haven't seen this for a while, actually. Before seeing it, watching it today, I think I'd seen it about 4 times in the past or something, but it was like years ago. And it's one of those movies I'm going to need to get on DVD because I just love watching this. It's such a great, bloody, amazing epic. It is. It's a comedy epic. And as Lee said, I wish they could make more movies like this that are epic and long, like, but not like, because these days we've got like, it's mostly like fantasy epics we've got that are like over 3 hours long, like Lord of the Rings, or just recently Justice League that's just come out.
The Snyder Cut. You're
The
right.
Snyder Cut version, yep, Snyder Cut version, which I'll probably watch soon. But I love, like, in the old days you had like Mad World, The Great Race, which is a super long movie, The Ten Commandments, which is a bloody long movie, and you know they're all really long movies, and they're all good. But and this one is just so, it is just a comedy masterpiece, and I love comedies. And as Lee said, this is just it's one of the most epic casts ever. And even to this day, it still is. It still stands up. Yeah, it's 1963, but it's bloody awesome. And the comedy in this is perfect. And I'll save that for favorite parts. But you've got so many cameos in this as well, like Buster Keaton. And I think, what's his name? Jack Benny. He appeared at one bit. Is that the one you were thinking of, Lee? Well, yeah, I mean, you've just got all these great actors, and you've already mentioned Jerry Lewis as well, which I burst out laughing. If you know your movies and comedians, you just go, "Oh, it's him! Oh, it's that!" And Jerry Lewis appeared. That was bloody hilarious when he runs over the hat. But yeah, what a great cast from as you said, it's massive, absolutely massive. Even the main cast from Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Buddy Hackett, also Mickey Rooney. I don't know how old he is in this, but he was still pretty young. And Phil Silvers, Terry Thomas. It's just great. I love watching these actors because it's one of those movies I remember watching as a kid and absolutely loving. So you just don't get perfect comedy movies like this anymore, where it just starts off quite it's still funny, but it just gets, as the time goes, more and more mad. And it's like a combination. It's movies like this where I love it, where they combine very cartoon humor, something you don't like, even with the music and the sound effects and what they do. It's very Looney Tunes, or the cartoons of that time, Tom and Jerry or something. It's great. It's so good. But yeah, I had a blast watching the one I watched, because you've got different length of versions, haven't you? They're always really long, but this one was a restored version, which I've never seen before. This was like 3 hours and 17 minutes. And there was all these little bits that I'd never seen before, where they had put in all these lost scenes. And you could tell which lost scenes they are. They looked quite fuzzy and old. Whereas the actual scenes that were still around are very clear. But yeah, that was great. It was just seeing all these added scenes that I never knew existed. But yeah, so I managed to watch the actual original 3 hour, 17 minutes movie where there is an intermission, a 5 minute intermission, where even you hear the radios, all these police radios going, oh, we're seeing him. There's a basement burning. Oh, over to that side. There's something wrong with the plane. It's been upside down for 4 minutes. It's great. The comedy in this is just genuinely perfect. You don't need like, I mean, I love all kinds of different humor, but I love it when it does humor where it's not dirty, it's not foul mouthed. Because if you could pull off clever humor without like swearing or dirty stuff, like just all this kind of stuff, you've cracked it. It's like the big diamond, the icing on the cake, the big jewel. Uh, it's just so good. But yeah, those are my opening thoughts. A great movie that I just had so much pleasure watching because, like Lee, I was howling with laughter. I could not stop laughing. I missed these kind of films. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
All right. Well, I agree. I agree with what the fellas have said here. It has at its core uh, a joy and an irreverence that is beautiful, and it's quite stylish. I mean, it's the main cast is uh, I mean, incredible as the cameos. The main cast is Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Sid Caesar, um, Buddy Hackett, Ethel Merman, Mickey Rooney, and Dick Shawn as Sylvester, and his girlfriend is played by Barry Chase. Uh, we've got Phil Silvers, Terry Thomas, Jonathan Winters, Edie Adams, um, Eddie Rochester Anderson, Jim Backus, and I thought that like Jim Backus played to type. I mean, he played in Gilligan's Island. He played Thurston Howell the Third in Gilligan's Island for what?
I always associate Jim Backus with Mr. Magoo.
Oh, Mr. Magoo, that's true. So anyway, he played a rich fella who didn't know how to fly a plane very well because he spent a lot of time as a drunk off his butt. And then Joey Brown, Ben Blue, Alan Carney, and let's see, Andy Devine, Peter Falk, Norman Fell, and what was that guy's name? Don Knotts. So basically, this was like everyone who was in every situation comedy, every single person who was in. I mean, it was basically like all of Hollywood. It was so good, and the scene started off really intimate with a car chase and an accident. Like the car was being chased by a ghost basically because he'd broken the law. But then all these people went to his aid and found out this stuff, and the rest of the movie was a thing that got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was basically the predecessor to Blues Brothers in that the involvement of people started like 8 and then 12 and then 17 and then like the whole city, and they were trying yeah, so I mean it's elaborate. The flight scenes where he buzzed the tower as much as Maverick and Top Gun, and there was as much aerobatic pilotry as there was in Top Gun, and then in the other plane they were trying to rid it of some bug or something, and the guy was destroying the plane as it was flying. That was crazy. Other moments that were brilliant. I'll leave to the fellas. So let's go flip flop. Ethan, what's your favorite moments, mate?
Every part of this movie done. No, I'm joking. Oh, there's so many bits, and now
Choose one or
and now
two or
there's
12.
now there's that many because I've watched the 3-hour 17-minute version. There's now these bits that I never saw in the original, where I think that the last, I'm trying to remember, how long was it when I watched it last time? I think it was like nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes or something, or at least 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I mean, I was saying to Lee, it's a small bit, but if you know your comedy, it's great. It's just a simple bit, but it's at the start, which really sets the tone of the movie with Jimmy Durant's character, and he dies literally kicking the bucket. You just get it's so emotional with the music as well, where he's just like, hey, just tell him, it doesn't matter. As a sound, he goes, kicks the bucket. This bucket goes dum dum dum. Well, I think he's dead. It's just great. That is just great, perfect comedy. I love the fight in the garage station. Oh, that is one of the best moments ever. Is where what's his name who plays him? It's Buddy Hackett, isn't it?
Jonathan Winters.
Jonathan Winters, I mean, yeah, Jonathan Winters, who plays the truck driver, and he goes absolutely mental at the two garage workers, and he just crashes through the wall and stuff like that. But there's a bit actually which I thought was really funny, but it's a blink of an eye at this bit where he's tied up and he's starting to get a bit mad, and he rips out, but he bashes out, and he goes flying through the wall. So there's a silhouette of his hand, of his shape like that, which is brilliant. But before he crashes through, if you catch it, there's a sign that goes flying, and it says, "Thank you, come again." And the sign goes flying off when he crashes through the wall. It's just perfect comedy, and like I said, it's a very quick moment that made me burst out laughing. Just this little sign saying, "Thank you, come again," and the sign goes flying off as soon as he crashes through the wall. Literally, "Thank you, come again." He just destroys the whole place, doesn't he? Just destroying this building, and there's these cops watching them, and they're going, "I've never seen anything like this. They're going back in. They're going to get killed." It's just when they hide in the toilets, he's just bashing his hands through. They go, climbs on the. There you are. It was great. I love it when I just love the. I'm trying to think of because there is that many actors that's flying around in my head. It's was it Sid Caesar? No, not Sid Caesar. Buggery. Which one is it who fights Terry Thomas on the cliff?
Milton.
Yeah, Milton. I love that little bit when they just have that little, "You want fisticuffs? Come on."
You rocker.
Yeah. You rocked. I love Terry Thomas. He's just always a joy to watch. No matter what he does, he's always funny. There's just something about his act, the way he talks and everything. He's just brilliant. And of course, I love that's Buddy Hackett's character. Buddy Hackett and Mickey Rooney. Their moments are just great. When I was younger, I think because Mickey Rooney came across like the younger character of all of them, I could relate to because he was just hilarious. Just when they're in the plane and the plane goes upside down and stuff like that, and they crash through the Pepsi or Coca-Cola billboard and stuff like that. There is just so many moments. I mean, it's got to be mentioned. The entire finale is great, where they find the W, which is literally these palm trees forming a W, and of course it's it's the captain who steals the money, and they all finally team up together to catch him. And it's one of the best moments ever. It's just the fire engine, and they're stuck, and it's just that music where it starts acting almost like funfair style music, and they're on the thing side by side, all flying like. But and I just wish I remembered what that tune is, because they've used that in so many things, and that sort of music where all comedy happens, and it's that sort of almost a funfair like music or amusement like music that starts playing while they're flying off the bloody fire engine. One goes into the pet shop, one goes into this bed that crashes, they go onto electric wires and everything. It's just so chaotic and mad. And of course they're finally in the hospital, all in different bandages and broken something. And I nearly spat on my drink. They're all like that, just painful as anything. And you've got Terry Thomas they're all looking at the captain. And then Terry Thomas goes, for a policeman, you are ruddy outrageous. Oh, it's just great. Just like, it was ruddy outrageous, your behavior. Ruddy outrageous. The captain's just there, fucked up, basically. And I quite like, in a way, you kind of feel sorry for the captain, because he is like, but they all go through all this shit and crap. And of course, the captain, there's another bit I like where he's got his wife and I think it's his daughter, wasn't it? His daughter on the two phones shouting at each other. With today's technology, would it have the same effect if you use two cell phones and they're arguing each other? Probably not, but it's just these two phones, handheld phones, just they're shouting. He's just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And he just slowly begins to snap, thinking of, chocolate sundaes and stuff and all this. But yeah, like I said, I love the captain because you can't help but feel sorry for him. And I love the ending after they, like I was saying, after Terry Thomas, you're ready outrageous your behavior. And it's Ethel who comes in and like, now see here, it's all your fault. And then she slips, doesn't she? And they all burst out laughing. And the captain basically finally gets his laugh. He just laughs with them because he's been through this whole shit. He's the most serious character in the most serious character, but he's still funny when he starts to snap. But he's going through all this shit, and then finally at the end, he just bursts out laughing and just joins in with the fun in a way. But I just love that bit. I mean, I'm going to stick with those moments because there's just so many moments in this movie that I just absolutely adored. I'm going to stick with those are my moments, so you guys can pick whatever bits I might have missed out. But those are my favorite moments.
Well, you chose some good ones, and so I want to find out what Lee's favorite moments are. And
well, yeah, you do feel sorry for the captain, but played by Spencer Tracy. He wants a nice pension. He's worked all his life in the police force, and the mayor and the city council are saying, no, you're not going to get any payoff. So he's been driven to do what he doesn't want to do, which was steal the money. So you do feel sorry for him. Oh, there's so, as Ethan said, there's so many great scenes in this. The one what always stands out for me is the Sid Caesar and his girlfriend locked in the hardware store. That's just, I mean, Sid Caesar was one of the greatest comedian actors and writers. Him with is it Carl Rayner and Mel Brooks. Sid Caesar, though, the way he pulls his faces, he pulls when he's crouching down trying to avoid fireworks, and then oh yeah, well it's only a little bit of gunpowder, we'll just blow this up a bit here, and it's only a little stick of dynamite, it blows up into the Chinese laundry. I mean, he's covered in paint. He does go through it because he's up in the air in that old rickety airplane, feet going through the floor and everything. He's locked in there, covered in paint and everything. And he's the first one to fly off the ladder on the fire engine. He goes flying through there and down the stairwell. But well,
looks so painful, by the way. I know as they use little dogs, but that looks so freaking painful.
Also, Phil Silver's character, sneaky, conniving, double crossing, just like Sergeant Bilko. The way he was double crossing everybody, counting himself twice when they were counting out the money, and and that one where the young kid gave him a shortcut through across the river in his car. It was, and then it's just, this is not for a convertible. What else was there? Terry Thomas was a brilliant British comedy actor, but he did work so well with Milton Berle's character, where it was England against the USA fight. That was just. Are you dissing my country? Are you just trying to go to America? so fun. They say the cameos. The cameos are just a little extra in this, because if you take the cameos out, it's still a damn good movie. I mean, you didn't need the cameos, but hey, let's put them in there. I think this was good. A cameo was offered to Stan Laurel in this, but he turned it down. So this might have been, if he had gone in, this might have been his last TV movie appearance. But he turned it down. He'd sort of become a recluse by that time. But it would have been.
They used his line in it.
Mm.
I don't want to lose this opportunity. They did lose his line, or use his line. Another fine mess you've gotten us into. So that's where he would have been in that very scene. That's where Stan Laurel, maybe Oliver Hardy.
Oliver Hardy passed away in 1957, I think.
Oh, that's right. So yeah,
that would have been. It would have been nice if we'd have. Yeah, I'll just do a little cameo, but yeah, it's, and the way they're creeping around the park with shovels, spades. There's, do you know him? No, he's got a spade. It's great. It is, as the title says, it's a mad movie. And yeah, I wish today's movie makers would make these type of movies. And I agree with what Ethan says. Yes, crude, swearing, that's one type of comedy. This one is family friendly and it's hilarious. So you can do comedy either way. It doesn't always have to be crude. I mean, I don't mind the crude stuff, but it doesn't. This you can sit down with your family and watch this. So yeah, I think that's some of my favourite ones. I'll leave some of it for Susan if she can remember any more.
Well, okay. Some of my favorite moments were the Ethel Merman character, Mrs. Marcus, when she is trying to call her son, who is doing that 60s, super jazzed out, drugged out dance. Yeah, look at these boys. They know how to dance that way. Go.
Yeah, but
it's his girlfriend that's hilarious because she's so emotionless. She's just.
I know.
We haven't got no trunks on.
It's so good. Anyway, and Ethel is like, what? And then she tells him, and he thinks that she's been violated, and so he takes off after the situation, and it's actually that she needed him to stay where he was and just go over to this park. Anyway, um it's really something fun to watch that. And then the other, uh I love all the police officers trying to be so stealth and watching these these you know, conspiratorial people um, absolutely demolish things, demolish aircraft, airports. Um, they steal cars. How many cars were stolen? Maybe 20 cars in this. I mean, like there's just all sorts of vehicular uh, Grand Theft Auto. This could be like, this is GTA 1963. You know, the Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Plane, Grand Theft, just all this stuff. It's just so cool. And it is and then the other bit that I'll bring to mind is the let's see, which one should I talk about? Uh I guess the end where they after they've all caught up, they've all dug the money up, and then and the captain has run off with it. At the very end, uh, he after there's just a huge crowd there for some reason. I think it's because there's a band playing, and all these people are there, and the suitcase rips open, and it's like it's raining money. Like make it rain, and there's just tons of it. Just all $350,000 spread more and more ways. So it starts off being spread amongst 8 people and 3 cars, and ends up being spread amongst maybe 5,000 people, and it's just amazing. It's like the joy keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's another thing that's really great about this movie is it starts off with a sad moment, and then it's and the minute he kicks the bucket, it kicks off this explosion of joy. Like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Involves more and more and more people, even if they get hit on the head while flying their own plane and end up, you know, you know, knocked unconscious. Anyway, it's just so fun. And I'm going to open the floor. Anything else you'd like to say, please?
Well, I've just been looking in the DVD credits and that. I just like the character name of Mickey Rooney's character, Ding Bell.
Yeah.
Ding Bell. Yeah, I mean it's one. It's a classic movie, but the iconic scene in it is the fire engine, the rescue at the end, as Ethan mentioned it, where the ladders are just going haywire, and the way each character is sort of picked off and thrown across the city centre or wherever, and they're just, you know, the police captain ends up in the dog pound, and, and you know, and 3 of them end up on the electric wires, and you know, Phil Silver, as Ethan says, ends up in one of those beds, goes receding into the wall. It's just amazing how they thought this out right. He's going to go flying over there. The black taxi driver is going to end up in the lap of Abe Lincoln statue. Peter Falk is going to end up in the fountain, go smashing through a bridge. It's just the way you think, whoa, every time everyone was flying off somewhere in one direction or other, you're thinking, whoa, that's going to be painful. But they got the
It just is. It's just
green. Greed
that's what
got
makes it so great.
yeah. It's greed doesn't work in the end, does it? Because they all paid the price.
No, even though they were hurt, they were laughing. So that's what I'm saying. It started off with a little sad, and then it just got bigger. The joy got bigger and bigger and bigger.
I've just remembered Ethel Merman's bloomers, checking her upside down, trying to get the keys.
That bit was great. You step anywhere close enough, and then she's coming back, and upside down for the whole world to see. You never get away with that. Two guys saw the woman shaking her upside down. Help! Help!
And then I agree with what Susan says. It begins with a death, but it's by the end of it, you just feel happy because
you do.
Everybody who's in the movie is happy. The only ones who look slightly sad are the Three Stooges, the firemen. I was
they just
what the hell? Why are they smiling?
What could go wrong?
Oh, I know. It's a shame they were just on that bit, because when you notice the Three Stooges, you think, oh, this ain't gonna end well. Just like, oh, this is gonna go even more chaotic. You did mention about the air flight, the plane scenes. Oh, it's the actual pilot, the alcoholic, when he gives it to Buddy, and he says, "There you are, he's a Bond pilot." And then, of course, it suddenly goes, and you see in the background the pilot going, "What?" on the ground.
And also, as well,
I mean, that's pretty...
Oh, pushing the button and the whole drinks trolley comes out of the wall.
Oh,
and it was good to see. His name's been mentioned several times, but Buster Keaton near the end of the movie, where
Buster Keaton at the end,
where Spencer Tracy's trying to hide his car into the garage, and Buster Keaton's there trying to get the car in, and you can see his silent movie work, the way he's just pointing that way, and he's moving about and going like that.
I was meaning to mention that. It's just I did that when I saw it, I knew it was him, Buster Keaton, because I was talking to Lee, and I was just trying to remember certain characters and stuff.
Yeah, it's silent movie confusion style, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just the way, even when he's pushing the car in, he's got that physique, the way he moves, like.
Yeah,
but that was great. There's we already mentioned about Ethel's son, Sylvester, the of a nut son, isn't he? We mentioned about the dancing bit, but I love it when he's driving to them, and he's constantly going, "I'm gonna find my mama. He's just an absolute nutcase crying his eyes out.
And this is after she can't get a hold of him. And this is after she can't get a hold of him, and after he is like completely in another world, and suddenly he's completely focused on Mama.
Yeah, and then
he's crying his eyes out. He's crying his eyes out, and he gets calmer, doesn't he? At one point, he's finally sort of calmed down. He's just like. But then, of course, his brother-in-law passes and he goes, "Hey, come on!" He finally kicks off again. He goes mental.
What made me laugh?
Where's my
mom? What made me laugh was when Ethel Merman rang him up, and he wouldn't listen to a word she was saying. "Look, will you listen, Sylvester? Listen to me, Sylvester." And then she put the phone down and said, "What's happening? He's coming here to collect me. Just like your father, never listens to a word I say."
Yeah, so that was it. That was that scene. It was so funny. He misconstrued everything because she was telling him to just settle the hell down and listen, and he never did. Oh my god, it's bringing tears to my eyes.
Oh,
It's so much fun.
it's just how mental he gets. Like I said, he just calms down. He sees his brother-in-law. He finally goes absolutely nuts again, going like, "Where's Mama? Where's Mama?"
And they crash their
And
cars.
when they crash their
so-
cars, doesn't he? And he's boxing the shit out of them, isn't he? And he gets to Terry Thomas. He's like, "Ah,
That was the
are you
only
English?
part that wasn't
Are you
spoiled in
English?
the movie.
Yes."
When Sylvester gets his comeuppance flying off the fire engine, he goes sliding across the tops of those tables, and all you can hear is "Mama."
Mama.
Oh my god.
It's just that was a cameo I recognised, but I forgot what the actor's name is. When you mentioned about the crowd, when they're getting on the stairs of the apartments or whatever it was before the fire engine comes, and there's all the crowd, and there's that guy who's like the leader or something. He spots him and goes, "Hey, you can't be on there." That's him from Some Like It Hot.
He played the millionaire in Some Like It Hot, didn't he?
Yeah, the old millionaire who fancied.
Art Carney.
No,
That's him.
was it? No,
no.
Art Carney wasn't in the movie, was he? What was his name? I'm just looking now.
I could see him, and
yeah, because soon as he popped up on the screen, I thought, oh yes, Some Like It Hot.
yeah. Hold on, because it'll come up on here. Joey Brown.
Was it?
Yeah, Joey Brown.
Oh, another great one was Don Knotts as the.
Here we are.
Yeah, that is Joe E. Brown. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the one who fancied Jack Lemmon.
Mm.
But there is so many cameos, as we mentioned, and I already mentioned Jack Benny's one, which is just, he uses his famous catchphrase well, but it's so perfectly used. Just like, "Would you like a help? Are you in trouble?" "Yeah, but we don't need the help from the likes of you." Well, as you said, they didn't need to put the cameos in this. But I'll tell you, I'm bloody glad they did, because it just adds the more humor.
Yeah, it's a damn good movie.
It's so good.
For a 1963 movie, it stands up pretty well today.
And
it really does.
And Don Knotts is the nervous motorist, the one who.
That was great. When Phil Silvers hijacks in a way, really.
And he's like, you have to call these guys, and you have to call the police and tell them this and this, and tell them HK something X3, whatever, and this is the code, or not call the police, call the FBI, something like that. It was just funny. I mean, the way he was tripping on that guy, and then the airport scene. There was all those cameos of people in the air traffic control and the airport manager.
Yeah, he went flying off the
top.
That
was brilliant.
Carl Reiner was in the air traffic control.
Yeah.
And Roy Roberts.
Oh, that was brilliant. We've said before, if only they could make movies like this again. Yes. The last movie I remember, it's an old movie now, I think it was early 2000s. The last sort of modern-ish movie they did, but it was similar to this, was Rat Race.
Oh, John Cleese.
Has anyone ever seen? Yeah. And that kind of has it's similar. It's almost like a similar premise, like these people brought together, but it's this billionaire who brings them together for this big race, and it has the same sort of style of humor. Like, they get into absolute batshit insane stuff, and it is a really funny movie, and it's one that I really enjoyed when I first saw it. But I just wish it was more like Mad World, where it is just longer. The story is just brilliant, and just all the comedy timing is just bang
Oh,
on point.
yeah.
I just wish movies like this could come back. You know, just big comedy epics.
It's a comedy epic. That's what it is.
Yeah, the two greatest comedy epics of that time were Mad World and The Great Race,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which, but I think I can't think of anything else to say about this movie. I just loved it. It's a movie I would proudly waste 3 hours again and watch. It's just so damn funny. And yeah, as Susan said, it's got a stylish look to it. And I think because, well, it's the 1960s, isn't it? The groovy 60s.
Yep.
You know, they just always had such a stylish look back then, no matter what film you did, like even as TV shows, Star Trek, Batman 66, you know, they all had a great look. The Great Race, they just have that 60s look where it just looks so cool. And it does. It just, you can watch it and go, it's the 60s, but it's a damn slick, cool looking movie. It's groovy as hell. It's a groovy comedy epic.
Yeah.
That's why I can describe this. It's an absolute groovy comedy epic.
Is this your final say?
No, this is a final say epic. This is a final say epic. It's 3 hours long. Dun dun dun.
All right. All right.
No, I'm joking. That's my final say.
No, you must not do your final say until I said so. What are you talking about? Please do not hang up on me. That's my Ethel Merman for right now. Ethel Merman's character in this was so epic that it was reprised in a Monty Python episode where one of the lads was hit on the head and thought that he was Ethel Merman. I think it's the bicycle repairman, but I'm not entirely 100% sure that that's where the sketch is. But it's such a good sketch. Oh my gosh. Anyway, wow, I just freaking love this. And so anyway, let's do final say and score. I believe that Ethan has more to say about this. So actually I'll give him more time. Please, Ethan, what are your final words and your score, please?
I'll just settle back then. I'll nibble on the nuts.
Well, anyway, intermission. 5 minutes later, 3 hours later, everybody's no. Final say and score. Yeah, I've already said. This still holds up as one of the greatest movies ever today. It is one of my favorite comedy movies. One of my favorite movies. It's just, you just will never get a movie this big of a caliber, and the actors in this are such high caliber. You know, the comedy actors, from the cameos, the main cast, just everything. So I'm gonna give this just a massive a groovy 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh. And Lee, what's your final say and score?
Well, what can I say? What everyone else has said. What I'm just going to say, it's such an enjoyable movie. To while away 2.5 hours, 3 hours, just giggling away to yourself. It's well worth it. 6 Oscar nominations as well, by the way. So
well worth it.
What shall I give it? I think I'm going to give it a mad out of 10.
Yes, you do know the reason for the title. That's fantastic. So I love this. I used to have this on VHS. I did wear it quite thin, and so the point of having a great movie like this is that you know you start off with just some quality, and then you just add joy, and you keep pushing in the joy until it blows up the basement that you're in, until it destroys the automobiles that you're riding in, until it buzzes the airport. I'll give this 10 airport flybys and broken aircraft and drinks trolleys coming out of airplanes out of 10. That was, I mean, like the aeronautic footage in this was as, you know, memorable as in Top Gun. And that's a funny thing to say, because it was mostly, automobiles, but I guess Top Gun was 50-50 automobile, motorcycle. I don't know. It's like what we got going here is a distinct lack of people standing on the ground. Anyway, thank you, fellas, for joining me and really watching this movie, and thank you for reviewing it with me. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group. But while you're on the YouTube channel, while you're subscribing, you should hit the button and hit the bell and ding the bell. It'll ding. And you have your bell?
Oh, yeah.
My internet's going
Anyway, the better to join us, join our group, and follow us on Twitter, follow us on Tumblr, and do reblog everything and retweet everything that we tweet. Yours truly, I have to follow my own advice in this respect, and also to give our old movies. We've done a lot of movies from the 60s and 50s, and they are, there's a lot of class ones, but this one is really, really, really hilarious. And so I thank you, and I feel much joy, much giggles. I've had tears in my eyes in this podcast. So well done, lads, and we will see you in a week. Oh, by the way, also stay tuned. We're also doing Witches of Eastwick today, which is another funny movie, and I might cry, laugh some more. Anyway, thanks. Bye bye.